This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And let me tell you, as we get ready for Canada at 4 p.m., well, we've got an update here on Ethan Bear from Jason Gregor of TSN 1260. A little update about him and his agent there, Bear, what they've been doing over in Kelowna and kind of the timeline and the situation we find ourselves in. I thought I would do a video on this at some point today. I did not think that this information would come out from Jason Gregor and get us even more enhanced discussion than I was expecting to talk about today. However, that is the case. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, if you've just recently subscribed, or if you're new for the first time, what I want you to do is hit that like button. And if you want to stick around for the World Juniors game tonight and you want to stick around for the Oilers season, consider hitting that subscribe button here in the next 10 minutes if you would be so kind. So with that, let's get to the Jason Gregor update here on Ethan Bear. It's a two-parter. We'll get to part number 2 in a second. Ethan Bear update. His agent, Jason Davidson, and Oilers have continued to have talks. We know this, right? We know where we're going. 1, 2, and 3 year deals have been discussed. Talks have been cordial. They just disagree on dollars at this time. So we've talked about, right, is it a dollar thing? Is it a year thing? Is it a what is it? And end of the day, right now, I know everyone's worried about the Oilers caving and paying Bear too much. However, longer term, the cap situation isn't as ugly as it is currently this year. And right, yes, you have to make some moves to allow the Clefbaum LTIR money to be most effective, but at the same rate, you move Chase on or remove Kara, that's where you give the raise to Ethan Bear, my friends, if you need to get it done for a 3-year or 2-year deal. 1-year deal, you can probably pay him as little as possible. 2 or 3, you're buying years, and that's where it's going to get trickier. Bears skating in Kelowna. This is our timeline update, my friends. To ensure he doesn't miss day 1 of camp, then he needs to be in Edmonton at the following times. If he flies commercial, he needs to be in the city tonight. So there you go. So it's either if anyone's in Kelowna and can go to the airport, I don't know how that works, but if you want to be man on the ground eyewitness reporter, go to the airport and look for Ethan Bear to hit the airport tonight. You could do that, and well, we could all figure something out here on Dolynny TV tomorrow morning kind of deal. But realistically, if he drives and Kelowna is not considered a hotspot and he doesn't go in any places, then he has to be in Edmonton by the 31st. So in other words, Ethan Bear literally has to hot shot it from Kelowna up the QE2 or however he goes. I honestly don't even know what the best route from Kelowna to Edmonton is. Never been that route before in my life. Never even been to Kelowna. Shocking, I know. I was supposed to go this past summer. Didn't get the chance. Is what it is. And here we go. Anyway, Ethan Bear is going to do it, and we don't have to worry about me doing it because we're going to figure out how Ethan Bear does it. He's got a couple ideas here, and I guess this is where crunch time comes in. Does he want to sit in Edmonton and negotiate the contract in the city, or does he want to keep his agent as the primary negotiator and have some more skates all by himself there in Kelowna until the 31st? That's up to him. That's the difficult thing here for Ethan Bear. He has a couple choices to make, and realistically we'll know what his choice is by tonight. If you're just so happen to be trolling around the Edmonton International Airport today picking up somebody from the airport across country or sending somebody home, which I don't know how that works given the rules here in Alberta right now, but if that's what you're doing, well, you just keep an extra eye out there for Ethan Bear getting out into a taxi and going somewhere in Edmonton tonight, alright? I mean, this sounds crazy that we'd be tracking him like that, but do remember what was it? Was it the John Tavares sweepstakes there, the free agency the other year, where everybody, anytime John Tavares even stepped outside his front door, people were making speculation, oh, he's going to the mailbox. That means there's a contract from the Toronto Maple Leafs in there, right? Everybody was freaking out all about that, and there you go. So this is about as big a crazy situation as we're going to get as Oilers fans. And yes, I talk about that crazy, but that's kind of more or less the stuff that happens in a small Canadian market is you are able to do that. Please, nobody actually do that. That's insanely weird and insanely creepy, I think, unless you just happen to be there by chance anyway and that was already part of your day. But I know down in Bakersfield, California, I've seen pictures of literally a guy on Dolynny TV who subscribes to the channel being behind Tyler Benson in the McDonald's lineup. Just happens like that down in Bakersfield, and that's the cool part about the AHL affiliates. And of course, you want to kind of transition that up north here in Canada, a smaller market like Edmonton, right? Edmonton's not even realistically over 1.2 million people, I don't think, right now. I think they're still sitting in the low 1 millions as to population of the actual city. Then you get out into the Leduc area and stuff. Oh my goodness, you're talking crazy amounts of not that many people realistically for the capital city of a province, in terms of Canada anyway, and in terms of a capital city of a state, you're talking absolutely nothing. That's the brutal part. All right. Anyway, the Ethan Bear tracking aside, let's get to this here, is the fact that we've got an update. We know it's just dollars. And it's dollars because 1 year, I think everybody probably agrees. But Ethan Bear probably doesn't agree that he wants just 1 year. He wants some kind of, right, doesn't want to go through this again next year. He wants certainty. So 2 to 3 years, and I imagine the step from 1 to 2 is pretty steep, but the step from 2 to 3 is very steep. And if Ken Holland keeps the 2 and 3 year contracts on the table, that is where the dollar disagreement is going to continue to be part of an issue, and that's fine, right? We're not worried. We know Ethan Bear is going to be back at camp. We know it's going to be, and I know the only concern anybody has in Edmonton Oilers land right now, and it doesn't even include me, is that we're going to overpay Ethan Bear. Because, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We have no room to overpay Ethan Bear, right? As it currently stands, even if you count in the Clefbaum LTIR hoops we have to jump through to get it done, is the fact that you can't logically get that done before camp to sign Ethan Bear, which is what it looks like the Oilers want to do. They want to get him for day one of camp. That's in part one of Jason Gregor's tweet here. So logically, there is no room to overpay Ethan Bear on a 2 or 3 year contract. So what kind of dollars are we talking? We're probably just talking how to best frame a contract for Ethan Bear in years 2 and 3, where he's taken a lower cap hit but still getting more money. And we've seen those contracts where guys are getting like $1 million this year and then 2.5 the year after and 4 something the next year, and it averages out to 2.8 or something, right? I mean, those numbers are shady at best if you're listening, but you kind of see how that math works. Is okay, yeah, bing, bang, boom, okay. If they can figure that out, I think we're going to be good. It's just a matter of how you figure those dollars out to even out a low cap hit to allow this year's contract to still be viable against what we're actually able to do, even if X, Y, and Z are crossed off. And that's the question, right? Is you do the mental hoops, the math, and everything, and it says you can't pay Ethan Bear anything this year. That's what it says, whether it be the actual pocketbook of Daryl Cates or whether it be the pocketbook of the Edmonton Oilers cap space. It says you can't pay Ethan Bear anything this year. Problem is, you go to a 2-3 year contract, you have to pay Ethan Bear a lot, right? Is realistically, to get that certainty on a club side and player side, you're going to have to give up more money. Yes, overpayment is a worry, but even still, in a 2-3 year contract, we're not talking $4 or $5 million. We're probably talking $2.5 to $3 million. And that's the problem, is right now that does not fit with what our current cap space situation is. I know they've played around on Puckpedia, and I need to go look at that as to how that all works. But no matter how you dice the numbers right now, unless you trade a forward who's worth more than $1 million, or you end up somehow figuring out that Clefbaum LTIR situation before day one of the season, you kind of see you can't pay Ethan Bear anything this year, but next year and the year after, you can afford to give him that certainty and that dollar figure that both sides are comfortable with. And that's the key, right? That's the hard part. Is right now, the dollars that both sides are comfortable with on a 2 and 3 year deal can't exist in a 1 year deal, or as year one of a 2 or 3 year deal. That's where we find it. That's why we're arguing over money, I'm sure. And at this point, I could throw out any simple theory here, but all we know is Ethan Bear's either got to arrive via the airport today in Edmonton, probably around 5, 6 o'clock, honestly, or he's got to drive on the 31st. That's a 4-day time window, and we'll find out what's going on. Either way, that means Ethan Bear News probably breaks tomorrow at noon, and Tyson's going to miss it. But wait, oh baby, let's go. Yes sirree, I've got the day off tomorrow. If I'm bored now, just wait till sitting around on a Monday. But that's okay, because there will be Ethan Bear News. If not, today. And I will specifically hit the record button and get going on the Ethan Bear News if it hits during the live stream of the Team Canada game. Alright, that's my guarantee to you. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Ethan Bear update, brought to you by TSN 1260's Jason Gregor. I am up on out of here.